Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Men Springin Forth 2022 Expo. I am DJ da Milli coming live from Houston, Texas on a special event today of Men Springin Forth. Glad to see you guys in the comments. Come in, give me the likes, give me the hearts, give me the stars, of course, wherever you are watching from, whether it's Facebook or YouTube. We hope that you have an experience today that will last with you going forward. So again, I am DJ da Milli. We have a guest host that'll be hosting today, co-hosting the show today. I'm going to go ahead and bring them in. We're going to start with our first co-host. Of course, they would do that thing, let you know who they are, where they're from, and where they are now. And then we'll continue on, right? All right, so let's go and get this thing started. Our next co-host is going to bring in DeWan, Dr. Atkins, so he can let y'all know what's going on.
Hello. It's DeWan Atkins. I'm from Houston, Texas. And I'm here. It's an honor to be here.
All right, man. We definitely appreciate that. Hey, guys, another note, remember to like and share this broadcast. Like and share the broadcast. All right, y'all. So we're going to bring in our next co-host. Everybody has their own name, so we're going to bring in Jerome.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Jerome, a.k.a. Jspeaks the Poet. Looking forward to a great discussion.
All right, so everybody knows today and with this Sunday and the next 3 Sundays, we'll be right here live at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time with me and guest panelists that will actually be here to speak about the Men Springin Forth Expo that we're going to be doing this March every Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be right here. So everybody out there in the comments, hello, how you doing? Remember that we definitely would like for you guys to chime in the comments, letting us know what's going on, where you from, and then we'll, of course, continue on doing how we do. Again, Expo. So right before we get started with everything that's going on, now let's keep in mind, y'all know, like, it's so crazy because the actual Hope coach of the Hope show sends me all kind of messages. She says I forgot to mention the Hope show, which I didn't forget to mention the Hope show. I just hadn't said the Hope show yet. But of course, we know that the Hope show, which is every Saturday at 5:35 p.m. Central Standard Time, of course, is the head of our show today, which actually brings us here and lets us get on this platform so that we're able to express certain things. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into our topic today. So our topic today is emotions. And so we're going to talk about men and emotions. Now, we'll label it as emotions because it is from men's emotions. So I took the liberty today to just give a definition of what emotion is, because I think we'll start there and then move forward. So emotions, which is a natural instinctive state of mind deriving from one's circumstances, mood, or relationships with others. So we think of emotions, we think of course, sad, frustrated, mad, all of the above, disappointed. There's so many emotions that we actually have as human beings, not only as men or women, but as human beings that we don't discuss or we don't speak about. Particularly in men, because a lot of men don't show their emotions. They go through whatever they're going through without showing emotions, because showing emotions may be a sign of weakness. So when we think about emotions and men, it's a line there. It's a line there that separates the two. Even though nobody can get away from emotions. Nobody can.
Right.
Because they're always going to be there. So I'm going to open it up to our guest panelists, whichever one would like to go first, and get their thoughts and aspirations on emotions or emotions.
Well, like you said, emotions is really a state of mind. And as men, we taught to not show emotions. And even me being a father, I teach my kid, hey, stop that crying. But that's just a man, a kid showing his emotions. So all our life, men are taught to be strong, right? I show my emotions now. Now I do. You know what I mean? I mean, sometimes if you hold in all that emotions, it'll break down and it's gonna come out on its own.
Yeah.
So it's
no, go ahead.
No, you got it.
No, that's powerful what you just said, because my own experience, I'm single and I don't have children as of yet, but even in dating, right? When you express yourself or open yourself up, we're supposed to be able to be vulnerable with our women, but we often get accused of crying.
Yeah.
So just to piggyback off of what you just said, we're taught to be strong. Society's outlook on men is to not cry, not quote unquote whine or express ourselves in such a way where we have a problem with something. But some kind of way there has to be a mindset change in our society, or some kind of way we have to get that message across that it's okay for a man to express how he's feeling in any moment, because we wonder why we have this whole mental health issue, is because so many men and women too, I believe, struggle with this, but so many men bottle up. And the more you bottle up, you become a ticking time bomb.
That's true. That's definitely true. All right. So I know we're talking about emotions and meaning their emotions and responding, but the one said he tell his kids you said son or daughter? Which one was it? You said
my sons.
Son, that be quiet, stop that crying. Which, of course, just kids. So kids are going to show emotions regardless. But as a father to your children, how do you? Because at some point you have to say, okay, look, you're a boy, you're a male. You can't be crying, you can't be sad. You got to man up. You got to, you know what I mean? Like, so you saying that to him, but ultimately all he's doing is really just showing his emotions. In today's society though, he can't do that. Like out in public, he can't be crying and doing that, because then it's like, oh man, he's just a crybaby, or something like that. Yeah. So as a father, how do you handle that? How do you take those emotions that he's having and then teach him how to take those emotions and exhort them in a way as not to try to tell him that he can't have emotions. You get what I'm saying?
Find that balance.
That's an ongoing process, and it's gonna forever be a learning process, because it's like you're a kid, so you supposed to do that. Right. But my mind is a crying boy turns into a crying teenager to a crying man. Have you ever worked with somebody that's a man at the job and all they doing is crying, I want to go home. I want a crying man. That's because you was as a little boy or something, man, you cried too much. So I'm not saying that, son, you can't cry, but hey, man, let's try to, it ain't gonna change nothing. You know, kind of say that it's cool to show your emotions, but hey, you stump your toe, it ain't gonna change nothing for your crying. Kind of, hey, man up. So in a sense, I try to teach you to, hey, you could cry, but hey, man, it's been 5 minutes now, dog. You know what I mean?
It's over.
You know, it's over with. You know, let's try to focus on. Okay, I'm not gonna do that next time, so I won't stump my toe. Y'all kind of get what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like I want you to know, man. Show me emotions, but I don't want you to grow into a crybaby man. And when I say a crybaby man, show your emotions, but don't be no whiny type man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't learn how to, and that's a challenge even for us adult men to just control our emotions, because like you're trying to teach your son, control your emotions. Don't let your emotions control you.
So I'm gonna go to the comments really quickly because we got a quick question on the topic that we're discussing right now, as far as like children. The question is, so how do you set boundaries to say it's okay to cry, but not take away from their masculinity?
That's a good question.
Which is sort of the topic at hand, kind of, because you got to figure out a balance. It got to be a balance in the emotional point versus just you being a male figure. You know what I'm saying? Being a male.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing too much, as you said, if you're doing too much, then it becomes a weakness. It becomes weak, basically. But then sometimes when you don't do enough, now you're bottling things in, and you're becoming a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that question is, as men, how do you think, or how are we balancing emotions versus real life and things that people say about men and emotions?
Well, it's levels to emotions. Like you got a love emotion and they got a, how can I explain? Okay, check this out. In August, I was in the hospital with COVID pneumonia. And my son, first time ever seeing me crying, we FaceTiming, and he saw me with the breathing stuff on, and he started crying. So by him start crying, I started crying. So his mom was like, dang, hey, I thought you said a man ain't supposed to. Well, that's a love emotion right there. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So other emotion is it's levels to the emotion that.
Yeah.
So okay, I get you. So with that particular situation, it's not an emotion like saying like, you know, kind of like whining basically.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It's a different type of feel when it's an emotional thing because it hits you in your heart. Now they hit you in your heart because you just, you know what I'm saying, you got love for your pops, you know what I'm saying, I love for your son. That's a different type of relationship. So that's a different emotion that you would use in that relationship versus just whining, like I said.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see that. Hopefully that answers your question. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. Hold on, I got another comment. See what's going on here. So Mr. Tate says it's better to stub your toe when your son stubs his toe and show him that it hurts, but you don't have to cry.
That's one approach.
I can see that.
So this what it is. When you're dealing with kids, sometimes they'll just cry like because they want that. It's a different kind of approach. You got a mommy emotion and you got a daddy emotion. Your mama gonna, hip son. You know what I mean? The daddy gonna be like, bro, what's up, man? You stumped your toe 5 minutes ago. Far as I got another example. I got in a motorcycle accident with one of my sons on the back. We were going about 10 miles per hour and we got in a motorcycle accident. We was in the middle of the street. I said, "You all right?" I dusted him up. He cool. Soon as we got back on the bike and turned on the street, he saw his mom. He instantly started crying. So he know he gonna get that.
A nourishing emotion.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro, you were just good. Yes, we bleeding, but you were just good with me. So that's the emotion thing. I'm like, hey man, come on. I know you were just, you know. So that's kind of with the stump your toe, bro. It's like, yes, it hurt, but hey man, you were just good.
And it's almost like you gotta kind of, because she was asking about boundaries, because I know a lot of single mothers struggle with that, you know, in trying to raise a boy into a man. And it's different because every man is different, every boy is different, every boy's personality is different. I have an example where I remember being set. My dad was in the military. So he and I know him to be, or I've grown to know him to be, an emotional man. And but he had that tough side to him too, which he tried to show me as well. But he had a nurturing side to him. For example, me and him were racing, and that's something I'm an only child, so it's just me, mom, and dad. And my mom, for side note, my mom, she was nurturing. She loved on me. She let me cry a little bit, but she realized she was raising a boy into a man, so she didn't let me cry as much. Like every time I tried to cry, she shut up, boy, you know. Yeah. So she nipped that in the bud with me early. And so, for example, me and my dad were racing, and I fell, and I slid across the concrete, scratched my hands up and everything, and just bust out crying. You know, 6, 7 years old, bust out crying. He tried to be sensitive about it, but he was kind of smiling and laughing or whatever. But it was just me and my dad's relationship. I understood what he was trying to do. And he picked me up, dusted me out. Oh, you gonna be okay? I'm just whining, crying. And but when the pain subsided, they put me in the tub, let me soak, the wounds or whatever. It kind of the crying subsided. As I got older, the crying subsided. So when pain hit, there were no tears. It was kind of, you kind of take it, you sucking in. But that not only comes from your father or the toughness of your mother. That comes from school. That comes from your peers. That comes from, man, what you crying for? Man, what? You get that from, you get a lot of that from, because you spend more time in school than you do at home.
Right.
So yeah, you're getting the reinforcement. Like I'll use you, Dewan, as an example. You're reinforcing that toughness in your son, but at the same time, he getting it from his peers. Oh, you crying? You this? Oh, you that? And the older you get, the influence is more from your peers than it is your parents. So I think that maturity level, as far as in a man, comes as the child gets older, because it's already ingrained in society. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So let me put this out there, because I like the fact that you was talking about school and society, because society will groom you, society will build you up, and society will tear you down, all at the same time. So when we think about school, not even necessarily school, but you got aunts, uncles, you got cousins, you got all of those that as you grow up, you're watching them, you're watching what they're doing, you're seeing what they're doing, you're seeing, you like, for example, I had an aunt, she passed away now, but I had an aunt, and you'll start crying. She's like, shut up, you wimp. You ain't nothing but a wimp. Stop crying. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. So when it comes to certain things like that, as I say, school, society, others besides your parents, your grandparents, and those things like that, the ones that's gonna nurture you whenever you have those emotions, or try to show you the right way to have those. When you're walking outside of these doors and you're faced with so many things on the outside that play a big part in your emotions. So, and I'm just gonna say, as you're growing up, because you grow up. As you grow up, you learn how to deal with emotions. You learn what emotion goes with what.
Right.
So as you're growing up, and you have all these influences outside, girlfriends, all this other type of stuff that go on. I feel like, as he said, as Jerome said, I feel like within a society of people, they say it takes a village to raise a child. I think that's where most of the influence comes from. So I'm kind of piggybacking on what he said, but not only for school, but for friends and other relatives outside of the home from your parents.
Absolutely.
So I think a lot of that comes as you're growing up. Like I said, my aunt, that was something that she did. I mean, now she don't mean no harm by it, but as you're growing up, how are you taking this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that really what it is? Like, what's going on? Like, then you start having all these emotions, trying to figure out what's right and what's wrong.
And it can get confusing when you're getting it from all different sides of your family, because that's a lot of times that's your biggest influence. Your family. You might have a crazy uncle who resorts to violence. You might have or you have, for your example, your aunt who tell you shut up, stop that crying, toughen up.
Yeah.
And then you might have another aunt who loves on you, like really nurtures you and hugs you and kisses you, and so it can be confusing when you're a little boy because you're getting different signals. But then as you get older, I know a lot of men, as they get older, they're able to kind of analyze a lot of the different signals they were getting when they were younger, and they can kind of decipher, which one was which and which one is needed at what time. You know what I'm saying? Because they're all necessary in its place.
I also think as life circles on, when you're young, you're confused.
Right.
You're learning what emotions are. You're learning what these things are. As you're growing up, you're starting to figure out what emotions are used where.
Exactly.
As you become a grown man, in the stages of teenagers and becoming a grown man, now you're trying to show everybody how tough you are.
Right.
Now you want to be, you want to be a tough guy. You want to, you don't want to show a whole lot of emotions. Yeah, because then they think you're weak, right?
Right.
Then when you become a grown man, some grown men, I can't say everybody, but sometimes, somewhere down the line, whatever percentage it is, you become a grown man, and then you start really not caring too much about what people say about your emotions. But then you got the other side that still holds on to, I'm a man, I can't do this, or I can't do that. I can't do this, I can't do that. But then when you get into your older stages, you become, and I can't say everyone, that's saying, so it's just always a percentage somewhere down the line. But as I've grown and watched certain things and watched certain people, my uncles, my older uncles, my great uncles, and my grandfather, you see, as you get older, you just don't care about emotions no more. You don't care about those things. Those things are not even really relevant in some cases. But I had an uncle, that dude there was the hardest dude alive. You couldn't tell him nothing. Couldn't tell the dude nothing. Wow. He still right now today think he the hardest dude alive. But hey, that's just how he was in the military. So after that, that's just how he was. That's just how he been. So I think it's just a circle. Like it's just like as you progress and get older, certain things change. Certain things it becomes different. Your feelings about certain things just becomes different. And as a man right now, like as far as emotions and myself, I can be honest, I don't really have a lot of emotions. I'll just be blank. Like a lot of times. Not to say that I'm covering my emotions or I don't want to show my emotions,
I
but
wouldn't say you don't have a lot of emotions. It's different levels of emotions.
right.
Like you can have a anger emotion.
Absolutely.
I was watching this. Let me ask you a question. Did y'all watch that Emmett Till?
I
haven't seen it yet.
I have not watched it yet. I've been saying I am, but
I got in my emotion because it was a anger emotion.
Right.
So when they went not to tell the movie, but when they went to trial, y'all know y'all beat this little boy. So my anger emotions, I ain't gonna say nothing, but they went towards a certain people.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's why I say it's different levels to emotions. So it was like, okay, man, y'all did my people like that. You know, it was an anger emotion.
Right.
So for us, when you said you don't really show them, it's different kind of emotions you can show. Like,
absolutely.
Even if somebody cuts you off in traffic and then give you the finger, okay, now my emotions just went to anger. Like, okay, do it again. You know what I mean?
I get you. Yeah. Absolutely.
We show our emotions, but it's different levels of emotions. We could watch a movie and let somebody, Lion King, when Mufasa died. You know what I'm saying? When Simba cried over that.
But see, that emotion is when you're in your house and you're by yourself. You know what I mean? Can't nobody see that emotion but you. You're the only one that's gonna know that.
You're right.
Unless somebody watching it with you and you just have an expression on your face or something. So at that point, it's an emotion that you're having. Don't get me wrong, you're having it, but who knows that but you? You
don't supposed to show that one now.
You ain't gonna show it because you ain't gonna tell nobody. You know what I mean?
Now, so is that what you're saying? You when you say you don't really have emotion, are you saying that you just kind of you might have them, but you blank, you don't show
right. So I'm just blank. Like I don't show a lot of emotions. Now I can say, but the way the way Jerome the way DeJuan just broke it down kind of sort of made me think a little differently about that, because at the end of the day, an emotion is any kind of mood that you're having. Right. So I'm laughing all the time. I mean, all the time.
Yeah, me too.
So that is actually an emotion. But the more sensitive emotions, shall I say, are the ones that are shown a lot.
Right. That you withhold from the public. Right.
Okay, well, let's talk about the emotions when it comes to a female or a spouse.
Okay.
How do we supposed to show them? Because I've been told you too hard, or you don't cut, or you don't, you too. So how do you supposed to?
Right.
Look, I mean, the way I see it is, you have a spouse. So with that spouse, in most cases, you're supposed to do whatever's necessary to please your spouse. Now, in some cases, some emotions may be hard to show, but I mean, hey, in that aspect, that's something that you might have to work on if you want to hold on to.
Yeah, I would say like I was saying earlier about being vulnerable. Anytime you become one with somebody, I get biblical all day, but anytime you become one with somebody, that's the one person in your life, male married to female or female married to male, that you should be able to be vulnerable with, open up with, break down your guard with. And if you feel like if you feel like you still got to be hard in front of your spouse, the one person you're supposed to come home to and be at peace with, then there's some guard up still. I would say I'm not trying to psychoanalyze you emotionally, but I would just say
I wasn't speaking for me.
I would just say for that person, there's some guard up still.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with the spouse. It's personal. It's some stuff that hasn't been dealt with from childhood most of the time.
Well, I didn't sat there and saw dudes break down and cry over a woman. Like, who cry? Like, man, how you let your emotions get to that point? Well, you let a woman just, you know what I mean?
Wow. They say love is a powerful thing, man.
Oh yeah. What do you mean? What was the reaction? What do you mean when you say?
It's like he came home and all his stuff was gone out the house. She took everything and left. But he wasn't mad at that. He was more mad at, I'm going to lose her. This was the emotion where I would hurt myself because I can't have you. I don't want to feel that kind of emotion if I got to hurt myself.
Now that's some deep side. Now, see, now you getting into what I said earlier, about that domestic violence and all that kind of stuff. Where you see these guys killing their spouse, their kids, and then themselves. Like, that's something else deep. That's deep.
But so let's go to that. So when that happens, do you feel like there's emotions that has just been built up that they were not releasing?
That's that
anybody, and then the atomic bomb catastrophic event decides to take place at that time.
It.
So when he's crying out saying, "Hey, I lost her. I don't want to lose her. I'm gonna hurt myself to that." All those emotions, like, but technically, and this is the younger side of me. I do need to get some help for real because that's crazy.
Like for real.
Well, you know, like that Lenny song saying, "Maybe you never been in love like I've been in love."
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I feel, yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just like, man, I don't think I want to feel that, bro. But again, that goes back to what's the show called? Emotions. He's showing his. You know, how do you get a hold of those kind of emotions?
Right.
Remember, it's different kinds of emotions.
That's true.
How do you give somebody that kind of advice if you never experienced it yourself?
Right.
Because me, I'm be like, man, I'm be like, man, move on. It's easy for me to say that if I ain't never experienced that.
Right. And it's circumstantial. Like we don't know what all happened between. It takes two to tango. We don't know if she did something catastrophic to hurt him to that point, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or if he's just that sensitive, right?
Yeah. We don't know something else in the background that was going on that he ain't really speaking about.
Right.
Or maybe he could be just that perfect guy, and it was her.
Possibly.
Y'all can't put it on. See, we get too much stuff put on us when it's. Girl,
no, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. It could have been something that she did catastrophic that totally took him to somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't know the circumstances. Yeah.
All right. So just kind of go to the comments real quick, y'all. Mr. Tate says, with your spouse, you have to be as a man, naked and unashamed.
Mm-hmm.
I believe this next comment was for the guy that was the guy that you explained, gave an example of. Mental health problems. I think Miss Tan said, "Is that love?
Is that love?" That's.
But you gotta understand. You gotta understand. Mental health and love is our first cousins with emotions. It's a form of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Mental health is our mental.
She said,
emotion come from your mind, right?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
The song say emotion make you cry sometime. It's all in the same circuit. It's all in the same pot of gumbo. You got your shrimp and it's all the same.
Right.
So he said you gotta be comfortable with your neck. Hey, it's all emotion and love is first cousins.
Right.
Man.
Like I said, when I was in the hospital and my son started crying, I cried because I love you, son, and you got to see me like this.
Right.
Emotion.
Right.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Let me see what else we got in the comments. Ms. Tan says, and feelings ain't always right. Emotions are feelings, and feelings ain't always right.
Love is feelings.
Love is a feeling. Yes, love is feelings. That is.
Hey, check this out. Mental health is a feeling.
But to say what she said, so she say love, emotions are feelings, and feelings ain't always right. So how can your feelings not be right? That's an interesting question. Because if that's what you're feeling, and that's what your mind is telling you to feel,
because it could be because then that's where you come into misunderstanding, perception. Because a person's perception is their reality. So
you got to break down how the body works. Your mind sends everything to your heart. Your heart sends stuff back to your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I feel for you. Hey, look, check this out. So I mean, have you ever had a girlfriend and she's always on your mind. It's because you got some feelings, and now y'all got emotions, so it's all lined up. You get what I mean?
Right.
So it's kind of, it all flows. It's like you need one you can't have one without, you can't have emotions without love, right? You can't have feelings without emotions.
This is a mood. That's correct.
Right.
That's good. It's interesting. What you say? Let's see.
Because sometimes.
See, because they can catfish you. So as it said, but that type of emotion is not coming from your mind, but your heart.
But we talking about emotions, period, right? But because
you love people, but that ain't the right love. So the feeling is there, but it ain't right. Interesting.
Because then you can, this is a broad topic. Because I think about unforgiveness, right? I think about somebody who hurt you in your past, and while you're holding on to that unforgiveness, which is an emotion, because you're hurt, you're angry,
right.
That person done moved on and may not even realize you're still hurt, or may not even realize they hurt you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're damaging yourself and harboring that anger and that may possibly hate, whatever the case may be, that negative thing in there. I ain't forgiving them. They hurt me. You know.
You're right.
And they living their best life.
So
hey, another example. I just saw a kid. You know, we got this war going on. The dad hugged the kid because he was going off the war. The kid's crying. Is the kid crying because of emotion, or is it a love? See, it still goes back to is all got to go in their pocket to get the right flavor.
You know, the one, I think it goes hand in hand. I think you can love without emotion.
Without emotion,
you're right.
There's no way possible, because that love is still a feeling and a mood that you have.
You can't be angry without emotion. You can't be frustrated without emotion. You can't be happy without emotion.
Not at all.
So, should a man show emotion? Because I didn't talk to plenty girls, and they'll break up with a guy because he's too sensitive, or he's
I'm gonna say okay.
I didn't have girls say he's not man enough or hard enough. So
I've had it told to me. I've had, like you said, it's funny you said, DJ, that you laugh a lot. Like I'm a goofball. And I don't mind telling people I love to laugh and enjoy life and have fun. And I've been told I'm too goofy. I've been told I'm too sensitive. I mean, just my experiences with dating. And I'm just a big proponent of being able to express myself. Now, do I need to dial it back sometimes? Yes, I will admit that.
I wouldn't agree with that, because I feel like you shouldn't have to water down yourself for nobody.
For somebody else. So that's what I was gonna say. So I think it depends on who that person is, because some people don't understand that everybody has emotions. Not only do you as a female, because females have a lot of emotions, but not only you as a female to have emotions, men have emotions too. So the nourishing comes on both sides of it. And I believe that in certain aspects, some people just can't see past the past, because in the past, a man was everything. A man was everything. He went to work. You know what I'm saying? All the wife did was chill at home. You know what I mean? So we bring a lot of stuff from the past to the future, and not even knowing that's what happens in the world. Because as I said, it's a circle. So with this circle, we're doing it just in a way that is of the now instead of back then. Because back then it was plain and simple.
Right.
But now, as a man, your emotions and feelings are attacked by someone that doesn't understand, or that doesn't care to understand that just like you have emotions, just like females have emotions, men have emotions. So with that being said, it has to be some kind of a meet in the middle.
You know what we got to stop doing? We got to stop comparing men to women as far as men emotions, women emotions. And the reason why I say that, some people like, you can't do that. You're a man up. And that's what I got to work on. We talked about that earlier. And the reason why I say that, because a lot of men, black men, are raised by single parents. Me personally, raised by a single parent. So a lot of similarities I'm gonna have from a woman. I cook for myself. I clean for myself. I do my own laundry. That's what my mom, a woman, taught me.
Right.
So if I'm in other situations, a woman can't tell me to man up, because it's like, man, I was raised by a woman. I taught myself how to be a man. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I can't break it down. It's like, we got to stop saying, men, show your emotions. That's all I can say.
You know what? You know what you talking about, the one? You talking about gender roles.
Right.
That's what it is. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Talking about gender roles, and that's a whole nother issue, bro.
What a man is, what a man can't do, and what a man shouldn't.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's something that has been going on for a very long time. And even after 100,000 talks about it, it's still going to be something that goes on continuously, because people are going to specifically say, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is not what you're supposed to be doing as a man. So as a man, you're supposed to be doing this. As a man,
but you know what? You know what? There's only our people that look like us. We always divide certain stuff for as the light-skinned brother and the dark-skinned brother. The fraternities, the AKAs against the deltas.
Right.
We always divide each other. You know, and even in the movies, they had a light-skinned gene and a dark-skinned. You know, why we just can't? No division. You know what I mean? And then
be human.
Right. Yeah.
Man, we wish.
So even when it comes to who run a household, now women think they can run a household when you got a man, but you think, oh no, I'm gonna run it. No, this is like, come on, man. I don't know, bro.
It's
a lot of stuff.
It get deep and heavy, bro. For real.
And then don't get it wrong. I take up for us brothers. Sometimes, you know, we do got a lack of men out there. We do. We got a lack. So sometimes the women got to take, you know, as far as our men in jail, or they go on another route that they don't, you know.
Right.
So of course, these women, y'all give them the right for us to talk to us like that, because y'all got to man up, man. Y'all got to man up, do what we supposed to. I say we as a whole, not me, but we as a whole.
Men as a whole, right?
Man,
got to step up and be.
So that's why they feel like they can talk to us. That's why they feel like they could talk to us like I'm below y'all,
right?
Because over the years we have lack. And as far as women, y'all lacking too. But it's just that, man, the world's so crazy. We still at each other as divine. It's like,
Yeah.
Like I told this girl the other day. Ever since I was a little kid, all I heard was men ain't this, men ain't that.
Right.
Well, how about you start speaking positivity in there? Then that way we can start having some
good.
You know,
you'll start thinking differently, because the thing is when they say men ain't this, men ain't that. It's like that's all you're looking for when you gonna run into that next man. You say he ain't this, he ain't that. That's it. That's all in your brain. So every time you run into somebody else, you still got what he ain't instead of what he is,
or what he can be.
Yeah, or what he can be.
So that particular woman, or that particular type of woman who thinks like that, will always either attract what she don't like, or she'll attract a good man and push him away.
That made me think of you. When the lady said that you too goofy or whatever, or you said you got to. And I say, don't water down yourself. Don't water down yourself for that woman, because it's it's gonna be the next woman who's
you know what? I don't, and I can't help be who I am. I'm gonna be me. So you're right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, even with women, you don't have to water down yourself for no man. You know, it's hey, let's talk about it. Exactly. Is this what you like? This what I don't like? And
can we be adult enough to have that conversation? Because even in hey man, you shaking your head. I already know, bro. Like in dating, man, it's hard to have them conversations because everybody got a wall up.
Yeah,
I come to the table. I come to the table as an open book, and people tell me all the time, "Man, you tell too much about you." Look, I'm 42 years old. I ain't got time to be holding stuff back.
Being transparent. So the question though still remains is, and I know we kind of pushed over from it, but I still want to see like what everybody has to say about how do you decipher or how do you take on somebody saying you're not supposed to be too much of this or too much of that, or a man's supposed to do this or a man's supposed to do that when it comes to a spouse. When it comes to a spouse, because I know we got on that, but then we kind of moved away from it. But I just want to hear your take on what I guess what would you do in that situation? Because it's a lot of females or spouses that are out here that say, well, you're not manly enough, or you're not this, or you're not that. I mean, I understand we're moving on, but do we move on every time we hear, or how do we work through that?
That's heavy, because I was just thinking as we were talking about the different circumstances and issues that comes from how you were raised and things being passed down, because everything we're talking about are just different ideologies of what a woman thinks a man should be and what a man thinks a woman should be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So everybody has their own ideology of it. But then me being a man of God, I'm gonna take you to the word of God. And we're gonna go to God with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's not many ways. There's one way to be a man, and there's one way to be a woman. But everybody has their own definitions, or have created or made their own definitions. And that's what's causing all the confusion. How do we find that balance, or how do we to answer your question, DJ? Man, whew, that's it's tough.
It's tough.
It's tough because everybody doesn't believe in God. Everybody don't believe in the word of God, the Bible. Everybody's not gonna look to those principles. Man, that's tough. It's tough. Everybody's not gonna agree with each other
at all.
You know, so
that goes back with, if you want to take it to Christianity, that goes back with being equally yoked.
Right.
You know, so
right.
So I got my other phone right here, so I kind of read a comment that Mr. Tate said.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey man, easy on the dudes, because some of these women, oh bro, come on, Mr. Tate, some of these women, yes, like I said, it is some guys that need to mature and grow up, but I can go on my Instagram right now, just say I'm looking for a woman. I can go on my phone right now, all I see is women twerking, shaking this, shaking that, shaking it. So you mean to tell me that's all you got to offer me? So, Mr. Tate, I get what you're saying about the males, but it goes the same way with the females. You agree? No?
Yeah, I'm talking.
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right, because it's a lot of women OnlyFans and doing, you know. Yeah.
So, Ms. Tan also
no
said
more way.
We have to recognize that all men are not a bad seed.
Mm-hmm.
I do see that. We should all be coachable and teachable.
I agree. That goes both ways too.
Yeah. Let's see.
Tell Mr. Tate stop trying to Derek Jackson us.
Nah, he down for the cause, man. He down for the cause.
So I see where Ms. Tan says, sometimes there's truth in that, but it's up to you to know what adds value to you.
Ooh, hold up, DJ. Boy, who said that?
Ms. Tan.
Oh yeah. Tanya said that. That's powerful, because at the end of the day, one of the answers to your question is you got to know who you are.
Right.
As a person, man or woman, you got to know who you are. And a lot of the problem is we don't know who we are. We don't know who we are. Our identity, we find our identities in so many different things. And I don't want to veer off, because I can veer off and go a whole different direction with this, but we people commit suicide. I'll just say this. I won't go off into the story, but people commit suicide because of identity and identity crisis. So we have to find our identity in things that are strong and stable. You know, I didn't want to turn this into a whole religious Christian thing.
No, you good, bro. You good.
But man, I tell you, man, you gotta find your identity in your maker, man. God created you. What does God say about you? Find out what God says about you. Oh, where do you find that? In the Bible.
yeah.
You know.
So along with that, she also says everyone won't agree,
right?
But you know when you meet the one. Mr. Tate says a man's supposed to take care of his home even when the woman makes more money than him.
I agree.
Mr. Tate says he messed with women, not females with no morals. Ms. Tate says we have to remember who God says we are. Absolutely correct.
Okay, I go with. Well, I ain't gonna go there. I'm gonna go there. Okay, I can speak from a Christian point of view, or I can speak from. See, I can say I consider myself a Christian, but I do have a flesh in me.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
And when my flesh gets weak,
yeah,
it's like, okay, God, I know what you said, but I'm gonna go see what this talking about right here. I'm man enough to say that.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, Mr. Tate, you could say that, but it's like, man, Mr. Tate, boy. All right.
Mr. Tate, you got. Will, you got. No, but no, the one that's real, because you can be so heavenly bound and no earthly good. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, I love that saying.
You gotta realize, yes, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm a spiritual minded person, but at the same time, you cannot not acknowledge how you feeling.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and I don't believe God ever intended us to not acknowledge how we feel. That's why he said pray. Praying is talking to God. God wants us to express ourselves. God wants us to cry out to him. God, I'm tired. God, I'm
Right, absolutely.
Help me.
Emotions.
That's what he wants, So yeah, no, DeJuan, you own it. Like, ain't nothing wrong with that, brother. We live in this earth, and we have to have a balance between all of that. Absolutely.
Correct. Man,
y'all crazy.
Huh?
Y'all crazy, man.
They going ham in the comments. Huh?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, moral of this story today, you know what I mean? Emotions are always going to be there. I mean, no matter what you do, where you go, and who you are, you will always have an emotion in that day. So we just have to learn how to express our emotions in a way that best suits us, not in a way that suits anyone else. As men, we may express our emotions in a different way because we don't want to feel like emotions is taking over us, or we feel like we're out of place by expressing certain things or certain ways that of the emotion that we're expressing.
Right.
So, just to sum that up, I just think we definitely have to know who we are and what emotions that we have inside of us that we want to release. Because honestly, to me, every emotion doesn't have to be shown. Every emotion doesn't have to be released. It's your emotions. You release whatever emotion you want to release, but don't hold in things that is going to make you go crazy.
So, every emotion has its place.
That's right.
In other words, right. Its place and its time. Right.
So those are kind of like my final thoughts to that. Any final thoughts from you guys?
I guess y'all started off with he emotions. So is it safe to take away that he and just leave it at emotion? Because, like I say, the women emotions and the men emotions pretty much the hands in hand. Same way we can feel they got the same exact feeling.
Absolutely. But see, the only difference in between the he emotion and just saying emotion is we're only really trying to, specifically speaking of emotions of a male. So we bring in the aspect of a female because females, quote unquote, are a lot of times saying what a male is or what a male ain't because of his emotions.
You're right.
So, I mean, you can take it out of there. It's your perspective, brother. But ultimately, that emotion comes from people of the world.
Mm-hmm. And the thing of it is, I would say the difference.
And females run the world, right?
So, okay, look, 1 and 1.
I would say the difference between he-motions and emotions is he-motions are the emotions. I would say the difference is because, like you said, DeJuan, men and women we have the same emotions, but we react to those emotions differently. Because
think so?
Because of the gender difference, I believe so. I believe so. Not now, everybody's not the same. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's reaction is not going to be the same, but I'm saying in general, men react to their emotions differently than women do.
I guess you're right. You're right. You're right.
I would
you're
say
right.
women. See, women are.
Cause I didn't heard of women keying up my car, but you ain't gonna see me keying up a girl car. So I guess
But women are more women are more quick to be sensitive. Women are more quick to express themselves, and society has created that safe place for women. Society has not created that safe place for men.
That's right. That's correct. But
so we as men have to really know who we are and find that safe place.
Okay.
Within ourselves. If we know who we are, like me, I'm comfortable. I don't I'm in a place in my life, like you were saying, DJ, the older you get. I'm in a place in my life now. I'm not bothered by expressing my emotions, and I'm the older I get more wise in when I express them. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a time and a place, but yeah, I don't mind.
So you say they're not the same, and we know they're not the same.
Mm-hmm.
And the safe haven, okay, cool for women. But so the guy that the one described earlier.
Mm-hmm.
has the same emotions as you would say a female has when it comes to the relationship, but even the aspect of keying a car or whatever, but he's not saying suicide, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I think kind of what the one was when he said, are you sure? I think I kind of got the feeling that those type of emotions are the same. Those type of emotions, even though they're, you know what I'm saying, I understand you said no safe haven on there, but I think that particular emotion at that point in time was the same emotion as you would say a female would have over certain things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And not to just say females and males and females and males, but right. When we're speaking of an aspect of emotions being the same,
right?
I would think that in some aspects, some emotions can be the same,
right?
Versus
and the reactions to those emotions be the same.
Right,
I got you. No, you're right.
Let's see, emotions okay, not to be okay. So in your emotions, it's okay not to be okay. Just get through, just screw through it and get the help you need.
Mm-hmm.
Aisha says, and there's definitely safe places for y'all. Please find them and use them because y'all matter too.
Y'all matter. Yeah.
Well, there's a safe, and I agree on that too, because there's a safe place for you to be at any cost. Because so women may have the safe haven of the world, and we have to be realistic about this because all men don't have a safe haven in the world for crying about certain things.
Right.
Now, if I go to my mom, you know what I'm saying? If I go to my dad, you know, or whoever, you know, my grandmother, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to have that safe haven there. But if I go out on the street, I'm not going to have that same safe haven.
Right.
It's just like you said, it's going to be different. So I definitely agree. There's a safe haven somewhere for you to get that help that you need. And I would definitely encourage anybody out there, if that's where you are in life, where you're unable to release your emotions effectively.
And it goes back to what Jerome said. My safe haven, I don't see me going to get help from somebody. mine is gonna go straight old school. I'm going to God. That's what
Right.
I take everything else. So why not take that?
Absolutely.
You know, so
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you're right. Yeah, Tanya is saying, you know, we're trying to change the narrative. Basically, what she was saying is trying to change the narrative of men not having safe places and men feeling like it's okay to
Right. So yeah.
express themselves.
So that's what I'm saying. You know, if there's someone out there that's feeling that way, then it is okay to seek their safe havens.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is needed.
Because I'm in a place, I don't care what the world thinks. That's just me. You know, because bottling up, I know me bottling it up hurts me physically, literally.
Hey, I could treat you like my son. You better man up.
Look,
you better man up if you're feeling like that. You want to kill yourself, you better man up.
Yeah.
I'm playing, but you better man up.
No. That's why I do express, because
you're right.
Bro, you talking about physical ailment. People don't understand. Your emotions, bottling up your emotions affects you physically. We talking about high blood pressure. We talking about all this stuff.
Not just that. You're talking about, it leads to some people, drugs, alcohol.
Come on, man.
You know,
come on, man. Yeah. Trying to find solace.
People deal with it different ways.
Right.
There's definitely different ways.
Right.
So that's where we come in when it's saying there's help for people. There's help for people whenever your emotions. So let's just say this. So everybody knows that Ms. Tan is a life coach, certified life coach. So we all are aware of that.
And she's interjected herself as a panelist.
She can't help
it.
Yeah, she can't help herself. She can't. But so to me, that's my safe haven. Mm-hmm. So if I have an issue or if I have something going on, I can go and say, hey, this is what it is. This is what I'm going through. I mean, I don't know what else to do. Because I know we definitely we go to God. We go to God in everything that we do. We go to God. But the first thing, or I ain't gonna say the first thing, but what God is gonna do is He's gonna take somebody here on this earth, talk to you about it, and say, this is what this is what that is. Man. So then I know that that's my safe haven. I spoke to God about it, spoke to a certified life coach about it. I'm releasing these emotions that I'm having to God, and God has directed me to someone that can handle it.
Come on, man. God, boy.
So I really believe that when we say safe haven, we got them. They're here.
Yeah.
We just got to listen, open up, and let them know what's going on.
Come on, man. He put us here to be. He put us all here to be community. You know, to help one another, and that's funny. You confirming a conversation I was having with Mr. Tate about how God brings people into your life. When you have a prayer request, God answers your prayer through people.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. But we have to be open. We have to be open and receptive to God's answers. Right.
Receive that.
Right.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we can go all night.
Okay, come on, man. I love it. I appreciate y'all, man.
So, any final thoughts? Let's run this. Any final thoughts from you guys?
I think when it comes down to the emotions and everything, just God would never put more on you than you can bear. That's what I was taught. That's what I believe in. So, if you're going through what you're going through, get the help. If you don't want to get the help, talking with nobody, pray to God about it, and then put it in His hands and just let it go.
Right.
You know, that's my thoughts on it. For people who don't believe in God, I don't know the approach to come to tell you. You know, because either way it goes, it's gonna all circle back around to God.
Exactly.
That's how I feel.
Exactly. Man, I would say, like I said earlier, you know, we have to learn how not to allow our emotions to dictate our lives. one thing I've learned about emotions, my emotions in particular, is when I'm in a circumstance I can't control and I'm super emotional about it, I know I can't make a decision in that moment because it's gonna be a rash decision. So I've learned to be still and confide in those people in my life that I know I can confide in, know that it's a safe haven. And sometimes they may not have the solution, but a lot of times we just need to talk. We need to get it out. And so I think everybody has a safe haven of people or person in their life. We just have to find that person if they haven't found that person already. But yeah, be still, I would say, in times where you get so emotional, you don't know what to do. Don't do anything. Just be still.
Hey, I know we're closing, but what you said is the right answer, but it's also easier said than done.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now speaking for somebody who could be watching and be like, man, it's easy for him to say that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It takes practice. You got to practice that.
Yeah.
It takes practice. I'm still practicing.
Yeah.
Because I don't always, I'm telling you that I know what to do, but do I always do what I know what to do? Of course not. I'm human. Right. Absolutely not. But this is a daily journey to practice what we learn.
That sounds right there daily. Exactly. You got to deal with it daily, and that's it.
You got to build it.
Absolutely.
I definitely agree what you said, Dewan. I definitely agree what you said, Jerome. As far as Dewan said, give it to God, which is something that I definitely do, and I think I strongly encourage that as well. Also, Jerome said, find that one person or two persons, whatever. Find that someone that you confide in to release those emotions. Mm-hmm. I think a conversation about these things is so easy to have when you're not directly in an emotional situation. So it is hard for you to come out and maybe say, hey, I'm having these issues, I'm having these problems, I'm having these things that's going on with me that I just can't release. I've been holding this grudge about this individual for a few years, and it's tearing me up inside. But I never told nobody, and I can't release it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that in all aspects, I think that getting help sound real easy coming off the tongue.
Right.
But as you guys said, and I'm only going to agree that it's going to take time. It may take a few days. It may take a month. It may even take you a year. There's always someone out there ready to help you if you open up to them and ask questions. But I think emotions in general, again, as I've been saying, it's something that we're all gonna have. We're all gonna have emotions, and little do people know that the next man standing next to him could have that same emotion, but you won't even know about it. You could be sitting in a room full of people that may have that same emotion, but you'll never know about it because nobody wants to open up and nobody wants to talk.
Right.
But a resolution to certain things may be just expressing how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
After that, things will get easier because you'll be able to express that emotion, and it'll be easier for you to be able to talk to someone. And so I'm only gonna say this because everybody doesn't believe in God.
Right.
But there's something that you believe in. Whatever higher power that you believe in is your personal thing, but there's still somebody that can help you.
Right. Absolutely.
And I think that about wraps it up today.
That's it. That's
good. I got one more question.
Uh-huh.
So what about if you don't believe in nothing and you don't feel comfortable with talking to somebody? I'm just saying it because I know somebody that I'm speaking about, and I could talk to him about God all day. He's not hearing it. And he'd be like, man, I don't feel comfortable telling people my business. What is my advice to him then? If you don't believe in my God and you don't really want to talk to me or no help about it, what do you do?
The thing, it's hard. It's hard. It's gonna be hard.
Because it's like certain people, it's gonna be harder to reach to. I can reach to you on certain levels because we all know the Lord. But this man wasn't raised in church. He never stepped foot in church. So it's like,
So
then I don't feel comfortable with telling my family because all my family gonna do is gossip about me. Or I don't feel comfortable talking to this stranger. So what do we tell that person?
That's actually a good question.
That's a really good question.
So again, is there anybody that you believe in? Because there's got to be something that you believe in. If there's got to be something or someone that you believe in. But in any aspect, if it is not, that's a good question for the Hope Coach.
Hey, she gave a powerful answer. She said, "I would ask them why are they coming to you then."
If they don't want to tell you,
but they don't want to talk about nothing, why are they coming to you?
And that's a good question to ask. But if that's your friend or somebody that you care for, it's gonna be hard to say why you coming to me about it if you don't want to talk about it. Because you don't want them to talk about it. You're gonna try to coerce them to have that conversation.
But I know why they come to me because it's like I didn't been through so much stuff, and they're like, "Dang, you still got that positive attitude? How do you?" That was the question. How are you so positive after all the stuff you've been through? Like far as with I've been through a lot with.
So it's like they trust you, right? It's like they trust you,
and that's a good thing. So.
But just not enough to release what they feel yet. So I think, and sometimes I think people just be looking for that emotional side of you before they release that emotional side of themselves.
Sometimes you gotta look beyond the brick wall. Yeah. It's a brick wall, but because he's coming to, or because this person, I don't know if it's a he or she, because this person is coming to you.
They want you to know
the vulnerability wants to come out.
Yeah,
right.
They just waiting on the right time, or even on the right words that you may say that shows some type of emotion that will bring them and they'll be able to express what they're feeling. But they want to talk. Whoever it is, they want to talk.
And look, they know you believe in God, and they know all of these things. So I would say my advice in those situations is just to be available. Be available when they're ready to talk. Yeah. Because they're showing you signs that they want to open up, but they're not ready yet.
I asked that question because I know it's a possibility they could be looking. I don't know if she tagged my page or not, but what we got going on right here, it needed to be spoken about.
Oh, absolutely. And so be available when she's ready to open up. Absolutely. Be available and just listen. As a man, we want to give solutions. Just listen, bro.
Yeah, right. Be an open ear.
Yeah.
So I see Mr. Tate says, pray for him, let God fix it. I'm also seeing where Ms. Tan says, no matter what we present, if they are not seeking change, nothing will be the answer. We lost the one. Maybe he was fixing his phones. I heard it rattling, so maybe that's what happened. But again, in that situation, I would definitely say that, as we were saying before, they definitely want to talk about something. Yeah. They don't know how to express that to you, but they're trying.
Exactly.
They're trying.
And just be available when they're ready, because the time will come
when they're ready.
You don't want to get caught off guard when they're ready to talk.
Absolutely. You want to be there and be able to get that, because we never know what those next steps are after expressing what we're trying to get to when we want to. So
that's a pivotal moment right there.
Very much so. But I definitely want to thank you, man, for coming on the show today. Man, it was an honor, man. I had a great time today.
I know, right? I was looking forward to this.
We're gonna have to do this another time, another day, man.
Absolutely.
We have 3 more shows coming up, so we may have to call you on one of the other shows in the end and let you know what's going on. But we definitely appreciate you for showing up today, and what I'm saying, man, just giving us an hour and 15 minutes of your time.
I know we wasn't planning on an hour and 15 minutes.
We wasn't planning on that long, but hey, man, the conversation, as I said, if the conversation get good, it might push on over through.
Absolutely.
But again, man, we appreciate you. The Warren is not here right now, but if he sees the ending on the replay on it, Definitely tell this guy that we definitely appreciate you for showing up to the show today, man. It was a great conversation that we had today.
Awesome.
Emotions.
Yes, sir. Yes,
all
sir.
about the male perspective of emotions. So, man, have a great day. Have a great night, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, we are founded by The Hope Show, helping others prevail every day, which definitely allows us to come to this platform and do the things that we do. We love you guys. Peace out.